Hello, I am Jabbour, doctoral candidate from the University of Tübingen, and I am presenting today about the stone artifacts of ESHE-Society cave and spotlight on the earliest modern human behaviors in Armenia, which is part of my PhD study supported by Gerda Henkel Stiftung. The cave based in basalt massive located in mountainous region 1600 meters above the sea level, close to Vorotan River. The archaeological record of Upper Paleolithic is very poor in Armenia. We have Kalavan 1, which is much younger than Akhitotri cave, and Karintak, but it has no publications yet. Here is beautiful picture of the cave, and the plan shows the excavation squares. The green section inside the cave is the Upper Paleolithic excavation, and the yellow section is the deepest, oldest layers, which we will focus on today, while the excavations in front of the cave belong to the Classic period, with a lot of tombs. This is the stratigraphy of the lower part of the cave. We focus on layers 6 and 7, dated between 32 till 39,000 years. Most of our artifacts are obsidian, then chert, and a little bit of basalt pieces. We have good number of tools, they are 24%, and we have only 2% from cores. Hilary Fromm studied the obsidian sources, so we know that people in Akhitotri cave pick them raw materials from sources close to the cave, 30 to 40 kilometers, while they obtain a very small amount of them from far places, about 150 to 180 kilometers. Today, in this presentation, I will try to answer three main questions. 1. What type of tools did people use in Akhitotri cave? 2. What species of humans visited and used the cave? 3. What kind of activities did they perform in the cave? Knappers selected blocks without cortex and with the intersection of two surfaces. The narrow angle between them became the reduction surface after few preparations in one or both sides. The problem is torsion and hinges, so they rejuvenate the core with overshots. Here we see some cores from layers 6 and 7. We notice the tendency to use narrow-faced platformal cores, unidirectionals, or bidirectional. We notice that the cores are in layer 7 are obviously larger from layer 6, and that most of them finished with overlap of hinges. The main goal of knapping process is to get bladelets, which are 62 of our assemblage and 87 of our tools, such as lateral retouch, backed, and retouch bladelets, in addition to flakes, which are 13% of our tools, such as burin and retouch flakes. The most important tool is lateral retouch, which is medial and flat in layer 7, complete and flat in layer 6. Retouch are always very light, fine or semi-abrupt. They are always in right lateral. They were used as composite knife according to the experimental figure that I present here. Here is an experimental knife that consists of bladelets, wooden handle, which may come from willow or sea buckthorn or tamarisk. They are the most common plants in the site, and I suppose that they use tree resin as glue. I use it, it's excellent, and it's very effective in using. In addition to the lateral retouch, we also have retouch bladelets, which have often light retouch like fine and semi-abrupt, distributing irregular in one lateral or in the proximal, perhaps for hafting. In layer 6 we have some backed retouch, but we don't have any backed retouch in layer 7. Burin is also an important tool in Akhitotri cave. We can see a pattern based on truncation technique to make them. There is truncation in the distal, then several spalls were extracted in one lateral, sometimes in both. And they are very effective for using, maybe for woodwork. So, people of Akhitotri cave have an extraction technique based on narrow-faced core to extract the bladelets they wanted. Then they selected the complete or broken straight bladelets and created the wooden handle using burin and glued to form the knife they want. Also, we have in our tool assemblage in Akhitotri cave tools such as denticulated or notched pieces, which have notch or more in one side or one part. By experimental study, I suggest that they were suitable for cutting and sewing. Other tools were also found in the site, including drills and retouch flakes, in addition to the combinational tools, which are useful for more than one use. Here we find tool with a denticulate and burine, and another one with drill, back, and burine. So, conclusions. People in ESHE-Society cave focused on napping bladelets, processing them to create them tools, such as a knife, burine, denticulates, drills, and others. We have no fossils, but the differences between layers 6 and 7 are not that revolutionary, so we can say that they belong to one culture that dominated between 32 till 39,000 years. We can, in this case, exclude that they belong to Neanderthal, so we are in front of the earliest modern human tools in Armenia. And as for the kind of activities that people who use ESHE-Society cave do there, we have tools and evidence for the daily activities such as cutting, grooving, piercing, slicing, skinning, sewing, and drilling.